Hello, here we are with a hands-on with the Sony Xperia Z1 Compact, the smaller version of the very popular Xperia Z1, which of course was the successor to the original Xperia Z. We have here the very vibrant coloured Z1 Compact in lime. Now, whilst we're talking of colours, I should mention we will also be stocking the black, white and pink colour options, so there's plenty of variety here. And if you've seen any images of the original Z1, that you'll notice that the Z1 Compact shares a lot of similarities with the device. There are of course differences, the primary one being the actual display. So let's take a look around the device. Let's start on the actual side here. So there's a variety of ports and connectors on the side of the device here, most of which are covered by these covers because this handset is IP rated, and to conform with that you need to have covers over these ports to stop water ingression. So right down at the bottom here we've got a cover over the micro SIM card slot, so that's where you put your SIM card in. Just up from that we've got the magnetic charging dock. Now this is so you can charge your phone without actually having to connect a physical cable to it. So this works with the official Sony DK32 charging dock, which is available from clove.co.uk. Then the next one up you'll just see here actually is the micro SD card slot. So we pull off the cover there, and that's where we can put in the memory card. Now the device itself has 16 gig of internal storage, but you can put in memory cards up to 64 gigabytes in capacity in the device there to expand the memory. Then right at the top here is another cover. Now this doesn't have any identification on it, but this is the micro USB charging port. So this is the port through which you can power the phone to charge it up. You can use the provided USB cable in the box to connect it to a computer or Mac, or this port does also support USB hosting and video out via MHL. Now both of those require separate accessories to make that work, but it's nice to see that that is in the package. On the top we've got the 3.5mm headphone jack, and that is water resistant in there, so this device can be submerged to a depth of 1.5 meters for 30 minutes in fresh water, and you don't need to worry about getting water in there. Throughout the device you can see we've got this sort of silvery gold banding on here. It's got sort of more of a gold tinge against the lime colour. Then on the right hand side of the device we've got the Omnibalance design power button. We've then got a small volume up and down rocker key. We've then got a dedicated camera key down here at the bottom, which is a nice little feature to have. You've got a little identifier there in the form of a camera. And then on the bottom corner we've got a little cutout which goes through to the bottom edge of the device, and that's for attaching a lanyard. Something you don't see on a lot of devices, but it's becoming quite common on the Xperia handsets, which is nice to see. And then you've got the loudspeaker down at the bottom here with the grill over that. Taking a look at the back of the device, we've got the Xperia branding down at the bottom, we've got the Sony logo, we've got the NFC area here. And then we've got the standout 20.7 megapixel camera with LED flash. You've got full 1080p recording on here. This is a pretty impressive camera. The battery is actually built into the device. It's 2300 milliamps, smaller than the original Z1 because it's a smaller device. Coming to the actual front of the device, so this is another sacrifice of the Z1 Compact. It's a 4.3 inch screen. I say sacrifice, but the whole point of this device is to actually be a little bit more user friendly, a little bit smaller in the hand. So it's 4.3 inches, but it has a resolution of 1280 by 720. It's an IPS LCD panel and it has 342 pixels per inch, so it's pretty superb screen. Now you might see a little bit of reflection here. It is quite reflective, but not too bad. It's fairly responsive as well. So let's take a little bit of a look at the software. It's pretty much identical to any of the Z1 reviews that you may have seen, so I'm not going to go into it too much depth. It's running Android version 4.3 out of the box, so let me just show you that. You can see that there, Android 4.3. It's also known as the D5503. So you're getting almost the latest version of Android out of the box. You've got Sony customizations as you'd expect, but they're not as heavy as the likes of the Samsung TouchWiz interface. So you've got Sony's Walkman app, you've got the album, you've got movies, Sony Select, Social Life. You've got Smart Connect for accessories, you've got Track ID, you've got an FM radio, you've got all your Google services on here. You've got Xperia Lounge, Xperia Privilege. And you've also got PlayStation Mobile here, because this is PlayStation certified, so you can play all your games on this device. Initial impressions so far are actually pretty good, and we'd expect that from a Sony device. It's a little bit square, but there's a little bit of rounding to the edges here, so it's not quite as soft as some of the Samsung devices and HTC devices, but it feels solid and it feels better in the hand than I initially expected. GPS, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, it's all in here as you would sort of expect of a device of this type. Let's just go into the album and play back a little bit of video here to give you an idea of what the screen's like and the sound. So you can hear as I put my hand on the end of the device, it does muffle the speaker a bit. That's one of the little disappointments about this device, but feels nice in the hand, certainly better than I expected, as I mentioned earlier. So it weighs in at 137 grams, so it's not light, but it's not particularly heavy. It's 9.5 millimeters thick by 64.9 millimeters wide, and it's 127 millimeters in length. You haven't got too much sort of bezel to the device here. There's definitely worse devices out there. Down the bottom here, it's a little bit disappointing because there are on-screen buttons. It would have been nice to get rid of this to keep it a little bit more compact. So that's just a quick sort of hands-on with the Z1 Compact. We'll be back soon with a full unboxing and review of this device. But until next time, thanks for watching.